Hello, everyone. Welcome to Random Conversations. And today we'll be looking at the story of Abraham, Sarah, and Agar. I'm sure quite a lot of us are familiar with this story. Sarah was trying to conceive, and as she couldn't have bear Abraham any child, she gave her a maid to go into Abraham and conceive on her behalf. And so that was what happened. So Agar had a boy, Ishmael, for Abraham. And at some point, she started to disrespect her madam, in quotes. And so Sarah felt scorned, and it wasn't a palatable situation for her. And she complained to her husband. And what happened was that God did not side with Agar on this in this situation. God told Abraham to do as his wife wanted. And so Hagar was sent out with a boy with not enough provision and all that. This might seem like an extreme situation, kind of, and it might seem unfair, but it didn't mean that God hated Hagar, because God eventually made provision for Hagar and the boy. But God, with this story, was trying to reinforce a principle which is underlying for marriage, a vital and profound principle, and it's a principle of 1 + 1 is what becomes equals 1. That's the biblical principle for marriage. 1 + 1 = 1. So God is trying to say here, 1 + 2 or 3 or whatever the number can never be one flesh. And the text that supports this is that therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh. We can see that this was repeated. The two shall become one flesh. It was repeated again. And then therefore what God has joined together in this principle of 1 + 1 = 1, let not man put asunder. So it means none should be added to this mathematics. No extra. No extra person should be brought in. And this speaks to, for couples in a relationship or in marriage, it speaks to your opposite sex relationship, that there should be enough and good boundaries that does not interfere with your relationship with your spouse in any way, no matter how small. This is a principle that God is trying to reinforce here, and it's it's profound and important. So the lesson here is, if you're not ready to put your partner above every other relationship, then you're not ready for marriage. Your spouse comes first before every other opposite sex relationship, and even before every other friendship. Your friendship with your spouse is of higher priority after God than any other relationship, and no interferences of emotional connections should be allowed. So this is also God's order of priority, where our relationship with our spouse and other relationships on that level, friendships, opposite sex relationships, and all that are concerned, and all the other relationships. So God is saying, this is my priority. This is my order. This is my principle. What I have joined together, when one and one comes together, which is 1 + 1, which is supposed to become 1, not 2. Let no one come between. in between, because if any other person comes in between, then the equation will no longer be balanced. It won't be equal to 1. The union will not blend in and come together as God has ordained and purposed from the creation of earth. So marriage isn't just about love. There's much more to marriage than love. It's about prioritizing also. It's about forsaking all others. It's about choosing your partner every minute, every second, every day, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And that's the only way you can build something that lasts, by abiding on this God ordained and God given principle and prioritizing in marriage. Thank you very much for joining me today. Have an amazing week. Bye.